So we're going to start by looking at the rise of true crime. Since 2014, the true crime genre has experienced a really rapid growth in popularity. The first season of the podcast Serial took a deep dive into the murder of Hae-Min Lee and the subsequent trial of Anand Syed, and it kickstarted this popularity, having over 80 million downloads by February 2016. With a boom in popularity comes an oversaturation of the market as streaming platforms rushed to release their own docuseries, TV shows, and movies. As with any genre, when there's an oversaturation, new media must be more over the top to keep audiences engaged. This often means bringing famous actors in to star as killers in TV shows or movies. These actors have a previously established image based on their past roles and the nostalgia that's tied to these roles. In 2019, director Joe Berlinger released the film Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, based on the memoir by Ted Bundy's longtime girlfriend, Elizabeth Clover. Zac Efron, an actor many millennials and Gen Zers will recognize due to his time in the High School Musical series, stars as Bundy. The established star image of Efron influences the audience's perception of his character, conflicting with the mass-murdering reality of the real-life Bundy. The study analyzes the production and sound design of a scene where Bundy is read his indictment. In order to better understand the impact that Efron's appearance in Extremely Wicked has, it's important to gain a better context into the field of celebrity studies. In Richard Dyer's Stars, he develops upon the idea that an audience's appreciation of a film is dependent on the perception they have of the actors. Dyer claims that the image of a star builds throughout all their media work through, quote, continuities of iconography, visual style, and structure. Graham Turner, a sociologist who wrote Understanding Celebrity, elaborates that because the construction of a celebrity is carefully crafted through the media, celebrities will become dependent on the media that made them popular in the first place. Efron's comedy roles can be explained in this way. Because High School Musical made him popular, he returns to the format. Ellis Cashmore, in Celebrity Culture, uses the examples of Queen Elizabeth and Princess Diana, explaining that one has name recognition and the other a narrative. With the introduction of social media, there's a continuation of an actor's persona, regardless of if they're present or not. When an audience has unfettered access to a celebrity, the audience actually constructs their own meanings, and the celebrity has very little control over that process. The development of streaming apps such as Netflix and Disney Plus are major factors in this, as people no longer need to wait for a movie or TV show to be on at a certain time. A mediated persona, as explained by Jessica Evans, who I don't have a picture for, in Understanding Media, occurs when an image is loosely attached to a person, but they still must carry the burden of this image. This image combines elements of a popular character an actor plays, as well as their own personality to create their public persona, which circulates through different media forms and genres. The release of the movie High School Musical on Disney Channel in 2006 skyrocketed Zac Efron to fame. In the tween film, Efron plays a jock with a secret passion for musical theater. He sings, he dances, he plays basketball, and audiences loved him for it. An entire generation fell in love with the film and the character. On its premiere, the film had 7.7 million viewers. High School Musical resulted in a massive franchise with 2 sequels, a book series, video games, and multiple adaptations for stage and television. After releasing the 3rd High School Musical movie in 2008, Efron stopped being involved in Disney projects. However, in nearly every movie he's made since then, the actor has played a variation of his Disney character. A recent study showed that Disney child actors become attached to their characters and the Disney brand due to the way that Disney capitalized on their child stars and the Disney brand due to the way that Disney capitalized on their child stars by involving them in multiple media formats. Sorry, I got mixed up. When actors have attempted to branch out from this umbrella, it's often difficult to shake this established image. In addition to his image as a Disney child star, Efron's celebrity is also directly tied to his good looks. In nearly all of the comedies he stars in, characters comment on his appearance. The Guardian's Kira Cochran explains that due to Efron's looks, he's typically cast as a leader. In High School Musical, the captain of a football team. In Hairspray, the star of a dance show. And in Bad Neighbors, the president of a frat house. These leadership roles frame Efron as a strong positive influence for audiences. This works against him when he tries to branch out. In an interview with Katelynn from The Guardian, Efron said, quote, "A lot lot of people ask, will you play a psycho to really change your image and prove you can act? But that's not what I'm about. But I'm not going to do anything for the sake of changing my image. It's just not that important to me. Taking the role of Ted Bundy in Extremely Wicked appears to be an attempt at changing this image, despite what Efron said to Short. The role of vicious serial killer is a deviation from his usual, and the change feels all too sudden for audience members. Julie Weiss explains in her article, Casting Cultural Monsters, that US media coverage often portrays serial killers as advanced predators who have exceptional skills. Most US news stories focus solely on the killers, conferring a type of modern celebrity upon them. Weiss noted that fictional serial killers have even begun to appear in UK television shows, although the difference between these and US shows is that detective characters are usually the stars of the UK shows. US media, both news and entertainment, place the killers in the spotlight and make them the narrative core. Although Extremely Wicked claims to show Bundy through the eyes of his girlfriend, the film spends a significant amount of time with Clover not even on the screen. The first third of the film focuses mainly on Clover, but after, she's missing from large sections of the film. After Bundy's arrest, the film returns to Clover and dramatizes her declining mental health following Bundy's numerous trials. And now I'm going to try and show a scene, and hopefully it works. And if not, then I'll just do a reenactment for you. Okay.
In the name of, you're saying you're going to get me. The authority of the street. He said he was going to get me. You weren't charged with it. You got the indictment. That's all you're going to do. You are charged with 2 counts of murder in the first degree and 3 counts of attempted murder. I'll plead not guilty right now. 3 counts of attempted murder in the first degree. The Chi Omega sorority. It's my chance to talk to the press. This is it. My chance. Well, we have enslaved a prisoner now. Yeah, I've been kept in isolation. I've been kept away from the press. I have been buried. You've been talking. It's my turn to talk now.
Alright, now we're going to silence Ted Bundy, just like we complained about. Hopefully this doesn't go all the way to the front, and if it does, bear with me. Oh, sweet. Okay. So, almost immediately we can hear non-diegetic music play, and that's a soundtrack. The music is generic rock song, and it kind of invokes the soundtrack of Catch Me If You Can, suggesting that Bundy could attempt a daring escape at any moment. Kent Katsaris, the young county sheriff, begins to read the indictment to Bundy and is cut off several times before being able to read through the charges, stumbling over his words and just appearing significantly less charismatic than Bundy. In addition to the audio, the visuals also favor Bundy much more than they do Katsaris. The shots focus on Bundy's smirk and the facial expressions he makes while pacing around in front of the press. The scene has flashes of light replicating the flash of the still camera. These flashes highlight his face and focus the audience attention even more on Efron's attractive features and his charm. In real life, other than the dialogue, the indictment was nothing like the film version. Diverting from reality, although common in movies, perpetuates myths that surround Bundy. Throughout the film, the dark side of Bundy is very rarely shown, instead opting to showcase his intelligence as he outsmarts the police and officials attempting to catch him. Interestingly, the movie doesn't show Bundy committing any of his murders, withholding the visual evidence of his deeds from the public. We only see him meeting his victims in bars or parking lots. In these instances, the visuals of Bundy are, again, accompanied by a rock soundtrack. This potentially raises doubt for the audience surrounding Bundy's guilt, and as we all know by now, he was guilty of multiple murders. In this scene, the audience is encouraged to side with Bundy rather than the police. He complains about being isolated from the press and being silenced, but production techniques like the soundtrack and the close-up shots of his grinning face make him seem sympathetic to the audiences. The music, when paired with the quick pacing of the shots, again perpetuates the myth of serial killers being exceptional individuals who are charming and witty. During the scene, Bundy ignores the charges being laid against him in favor of talking to the press and attempting to charm them. This perpetuates the myth that Bundy was a smooth talker who could control rhetorical situations in order to get his way. The film is more concerned with showing Bundy's wit than making the audience sympathize with Clover as it claims. Although Bundy was well known for being attractive and charming, it's important to be cautious when portraying that. every movie about Bundy focuses on his attractiveness and charm, this neglects attention away from his manipulation and his arrogant attitude. In the analyzed scene, and really throughout the film, we see no example of his horrifying murders. Carpenter explains that the point of having Efron play Bundy was that he captures the charisma and image that enabled Bundy to be believed and even idolized. Following the release of the film, director Joe Berlinger had several interviews in which he defends his choices both in hiring Efron and in not showing the violence of Bundy. To Vice's Noel Ransom, Berlinger said that the reason for casting Efron in the role was that, quote, he can do no wrong. He's attractive and he's turning that image on its head for this purpose. I want them to trust him like America trusted him and see that lie for what it was. While this may have been his authorial intent, once a film goes to the public, Berlinger has no control over the audience's perception. Online posts with the film often played with Efron's existing Disney celebrity image and combined his hot, nice guy personality with Bundy, creating a kind of Disney-esque serial killer. Following the movie's release, the official Netflix Twitter account tweeted, I've seen a lot of people talk about Ted Bundy's alleged hotness and would like to gently remind people that there are literally thousands of hot men on the service, almost all of whom are not convicted serial murderers. This statement came after numerous viewers began to discuss on social media that Bundy, specifically Efron's portrayal, was attractive. On the movie review platform Letterboxd, users reference Efron's role in High School Musical in their reviews, often calling back to songs or quotes from the movie. One user said, bold of Netflix to assume this would make me have any less of a crush on Zac Efron, to which another one said, no lie, it probably made him more attractive. Man's got talent. Another responded to a review replacing song lyrics from a song in High School Musical to make it seem as though Bundy was singing, resulting in this. And I'm not going to sing the song, although I know several people want me to. Why am I feeling so wrong? Her head has been maimed, but my heart's in the song. She makes this feel so right. Should I go for it? I gotta shake them. Yikes. The impulse of many audience members to combine the two characters, Troy Bolton and Ted Bundy, is certainly in line with postmodern remix culture. However, it also humorizes a man who confessed to killing 30 women. American culture's obsession and celebration of serial killers is a troubling trend. Cultivation theory consistently shows that consumers of news believe that the world is a much more violent place than it really is. Women are the primary enjoyers of true crime media, and hearing story after story of other women being brutally murdered can create a sense of anxiety and fear. Being stuck in a cycle of negativity also causes individuals to become desensitized to violence, leading them to seek out more intense media. Directors like Berlinger claim their true crime films and series are educational and are teaching audiences about stranger danger, and that charismatic people can be dangerous too. However, using actors with existing positive connections to an audience confuses that message. Audiences see the Efron they know, and not the Bundy Berlinger wants them to. Being mindful of how a celebrity's image plays into audience perception is crucial in making sure that the reality of Bundy's depravity is not ignored. Thank you.